Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm Jenny. Today's video is going to be Instagram Does My Makeup Part 2. I did do one of these before. I'll link it up here for you in case you're interested. So what I did, in case you're not familiar with this process, what I did was on my Instagram stories, my Instagram is As Told by Jenny, just like it is here in case you want to follow me. In my Instagram stories, I posted pictures of this or that with a poll button, and then I let Instagram choose what makeup I'm going to be putting on my face today. Without further ado, let's go ahead and start with the base. With 52% of the votes, the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Rose Priming Serum won. This time I did kind of pick some products that I haven't used in a while. This is one of those products. I believe the last time I used this product was during the review video for the Wet n Wild Rebel Rose collection that this product is of, or in, or whatever. It does have that really fragrant rose scent, which I'm not a fan of, but I did like this product. It has like a nice bit of tackiness to it, so product sticks to it well. And then with 60% of the votes, the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation won. I am in the shade Soft Beige. It might be a hair too dark for me now, but we're gonna try it. I haven't tried this in forever, but I know I really used to enjoy it. It might not be terrible shade-wise. It is a very, very thin consistency. I forgot about how thin it is. Thin, why did I say it like that? Going in with a flat top foundation brush, just gonna blend that in. Yeah, the color's a bit off, but that's okay. Most of my foundations are, to be honest, right now. And the products that these were up against were the e.l.f. Primer Mist and the CoverGirl True Blend Matte Made, foundations. So it's starting to look real cakey around my chin for some reason. Now for concealer, the concealer that won was 64% of the votes. That is the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop concealer. I have mine in the shade Vanilla. And it went up against the Milani, what is that called? Conceal and Perfect. So I am just going to apply it. And this is a bit lighter, so it will kind of even out the foundation a little more. I have not used this in forever, but I love this concealer. Seems a little dry though. I don't know if I haven't used it in so long. I don't remember if that was the formula or if it's just old. Because if it's old, I should probably throw it away. The winner of the contour round by 60% of the votes was the Tarteist contour palette. And so what I'm actually going to do, is take these two setting shades and use that to set my under eyes and everywhere I put the concealer. So I have pores right here pretty bad, and for a while I haven't noticed them in a really long time, but right now I don't know what it is. I can see them horribly right here, really bad, and it could just be because I use a lot of primer and I've been using that e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer in this area, and I think that that's been helping, but even then I went days without using that and it didn't look like that. So since I didn't pick an individual like all over face powder or a brow pencil, I am going to go ahead and do those off camera, and we will be right back to finish with everything else. So now that I've powdered everything, put my brows on. My brows are a different tint. I usually use a cooler tone brow. This is a warmer tone brown. I don't really know how I feel about it, so if they look weird, that's why. But I am now going to go back into this contour palette from Tarte, and I'm going to take a little bit of both of these shades, but focusing on this lighter one. The dark one can be a little bit intense. And then I'm just going to contour the general contour spots that I always put contour. Drink every time I say contour. I don't even know if they still make this palette anymore, to be honest. But it's a good palette. It smells like chocolate or vanilla or whatever. I think they were trying to be similar to Too Faced. But 77% of the votes, the Makeup Geek bronzer won. And so I am just going to take that on a fluffy brush and put that with the bronzer slightly above it. to warm up the face, or above the contour. And then I am just going to take some down the center of the face, like on my nose, and then on the jawline. Anywhere the sun would naturally hit. With 54% of the votes, the Tarte, I don't even know what this color wheel. This was a holiday blush set. On one side you have more warm tones and on the other you have cool tones. Not sure what I'm gonna do. I think for now what I'm going to do, and I might come back later depending on what my eye look looks like. I'm gonna take a little bit of the Mod shade. And then actually what I'm going to do, I'm going to go into a little bit of the shade Concept and just add a little bit of that because the one that I used was a bit warm. And I'm thinking the look I'm going to do is probably a little more cool today. And so I'm going to take that Concept shade, and it does look like a lot of blush, but this blush will disappear in like an hour for me. So for highlight, with 70% of the votes, the Becca and Jaclyn Hill collaboration palette won. I'm going to mix a little bit of Champagne Pop and Pearl and put that right on top of the cheekbones. With 54% of the votes, the Tarte and Graveyard Girl collaboration Swamp Queen palette won for eyeshadow. I have not used this palette in forever, and I actually haven't watched any of Graveyard Girl Bunny. I haven't watched any of her videos in a very long time. This palette is beautiful. I'm going to try not to blind you. It has that like gold stuff in the back, and so it makes it hard to really see anything, but it is a beautiful palette, and I think I'm going to use more of these purpley tones down here because honestly, the times that I use this palette, I always stuck to those warmer shades. I'm going to try not to blind you while I do this. If I do, I'm so sorry. I'm going to go into the shade Big Baby and just put that all over the lid to just make a nice light base. This one also smells like the vanilla, like the Tarte palette. I didn't mean for this video to have so much Tarte and so much Wet n Wild, but that's just how the cookie crumbled. And honestly, I liked the shadows in this palette because generally Tarte shadows do not work for me. They don't stay, they fade real bad, and so I never ever buy any of their palettes. And for whatever reason, well, not for whatever reason, I knew. I loved Graveyard Girl at the time, and so I wanted this palette. And honestly, these shadows work really, really well for me. I hate the face products though. I don't hate them, they're just not really good for me. This bronzer is really, really, really warm. I use it as an eyeshadow though, and it's great. This blush was a little too deep for my personal taste, but if I use a light hand, I can make it work. And then this highlighter is Glitter City. So, but the eyeshadows are really, really nice. So I'm actually going to go into the shade Natural Peaches just to kind of lay down a crease base. So then my problem becomes there are not a lot of mattes in here that would work with these shades because these two are shimmer and then this one's matte and it's just straight dark. So I am just going to go straight in with the darker color, which is Man Cat down here. Don't know why I'm holding it like this. It's so awkward. But I'll just take this right here on the outer corner. So now what I'm going to do is take the shade Uncommon on my finger, and I'm just going to kind of pat that on the center of the lid and then kind of fade it out into the outer corner a little bit. And now taking a shade Haunting, putting that on the inner part of the eye. So while I'm here, I'm just going to go ahead and take Man Cat on a pencil brush. And I'm just going to run that all over the lower lash line. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go into the highlighter called Gator Wings. I'm going to put that on the inner corners to brighten. So off camera, I went ahead and put on my mascara as well as the false lashes that won. With 65% of the votes, the Velour Mink lashes won. These are in the style Sassy but Classy. Love these lashes. They're absolutely stunning and gorgeous and fantastic and every other beautiful word you can say about eyelashes. I love them. They're very comfortable, very full and fluffy. Excellent lashes. Great choice, guys. And so the last item that I have for today is the lip product. With 56% of the votes, the Wet n Wild Liquid Catsuit High Shine Lipstick in the shade Petal Poison won. This also is part of the Rebel Rose collection, just like the primer. I am going to go ahead and put this on. Actually, when I chose this, I thought it was a liquid lipstick, but it turns out it's just a high shine. So this is the final look. I think it is a beautiful look. I love the cool tones of the eyeshadow. I think it pairs really nicely with the lip color. Overall, I think that the face looks really nice. It did look a little cakey on my chin for a while, but I think that it's toned down. It looks fine now. Go check me out on Instagram because I do plan on doing more of these in the future. I think they're really fun and I think it's a great way to interact with my Instagram followers as well as my YouTube subscribers. Thank you for watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. And if you would like to subscribe, please feel free, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.